Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Papa Plays live show here on our YouTube channel. We're back to break down all the top 25 college basketball games for Saturday's slate. We have a massive slate to break down, 16, 17, 18 games. We also have the Dog of the Week and the Parlay Lock. The Parlay Lock's been red hot. I think we've hit 4 in a row for that, so stay tuned for the end of that. We also have a $50 wheel spin at the end as well, so stay tuned for the end. Trey, let's get into these top 25 matchups, though. The first game on the docket, Florida going on the road to face off against South Carolina. I've said some very cruel things about South Carolina in the past. Florida's -2 in this, Florida's catching 2 in this game. Over under 145.5. Have you start?
This is going to be a fun game to watch. Both teams are coming into this game with some momentum. South Carolina, they are dominant at home, 13-2 at home. Florida, they've struggled on the road, 3-5 on the road, and they have not looked good on the road in conference play. This is the first time these two teams have faced off all year. Give me the slight home favorites here. I'm going to be taking South Carolina here. I'm going to take them -1.5. You can even take them on the money line, -120. I have a lot of confidence in this South Carolina team. They're not as high scoring as this Florida team, but this Florida team can give up a ton of points, especially whenever they have to travel on the road. So I have a lot of confidence in this Gamecock team to be able to bunker down at home, keep Florida to a respectable number, and be able to outscore them here in this game. So give me South Carolina here, -1.5.
Yeah, can't do it. I just can't do it. I think South Carolina is not a good team. They beat the bad teams in the SEC. They fail against the good teams in the SEC. Florida, in my opinion, is a good team. I think Florida takes this game outright, but I'm going to take the +2.5 just in case. I mean, Walter Clayton, he's an absolute stud. Rob White said it best. This team's electric. They're great on offense. They can rebound with the best of them. The defense needs a little bit of work, but that's going to come the tournament time. Florida's a very dangerous team come March in the NCAA tournament. I'm going to take Florida here +2.5. We're going to split on the first game of the day. Trey, we're going to move on here to the Big Ten. Illinois going up against Wisconsin. Wisconsin at home. Wisconsin -2.5, over 154.5. Over-under seems extremely high. I'm going to take the over because I feel like it's a challenge. So I'm going to take the over 154.5. Illinois can score a ton of points. Wisconsin's been hit or miss this season. They had like that 5 stretch of games that they were really bad, but they've been a lot better over the last 3 or 4 games. They beat Maryland. They lost Indiana in the last game. But Illinois, they've been red hot. They've been scoring a ton of points each game. Illinois is going to easily score 80-plus points in this game. So I'm just going to take the over for this one. What do you like here?
I don't hate the over. I'm going to give out a game pick. Give me Illinois here, +2.5. Bear said it best. This Illinois team can pour on the points very quickly. I'm just going to give off their last 5 games. Last game against Minnesota, 105, Iowa, 95, Penn State, 89, Maryland, 85, and Michigan, 97. They've been pouring on the points against Big Ten opponents, and the Big Ten's known for their defense in those low-scoring games, and that is what Wisconsin does. Wisconsin, they're not very high-scoring whatsoever, and I think that the high-scoring team in Illinois is going to pull out here and win this game, especially whenever you factor in that Terrence Shannon. He is just seemingly on a roll, especially whenever he has to go play on the road. The guy, he is averaging 25-plus points over his last 5 road games, so I feel like that's going to keep on keeping on here in this game. So give me Illinois, and I don't hate the over either, Bear.
All right, so we're on Illinois and the over for that game. Let's move on. Second best game on the slate tomorrow, Kansas going on the road to face off against Baylor. Kevin McCullough has been out. I think he's indefinitely out now with that knee. Baylor's laying 4.5. Over-under's 145.5. Trey, I'm going to ask you a question. I don't expect you to get it right. Bill Self, off of a loss. Can you guess his record off of a loss? It's a big number. I'm just letting you know.
He's been around for a while. I'm going to guess 112-6.
I mean, you were incredibly close. 110-17 following a loss at Kansas. I've got to take KU +4.5. I know Baylor circled this one. KU got the best of them at home. They probably should have lost that game against Baylor. Baylor's coming off a great win in their last game. Kansas, though, off the loss. That's everything that matters in this game. The Big 12 is always competitive. I'm going to take the points, even with no Kevin McCullough. And I've said some bad things about Kansas as well, but I'm taking the points here with the Jayhawks. What do you like?
I'm going to go opposite of you. Give me Baylor here, -4.5. Last 3 times KU has had to travel to Waco, they have not walked out with a win, and they have not walked out with a cover either. Baylor has won and covered each of those games. And I have to expect that to continue here because Bear also said it best. Kevin McCullough, he is ruled out until mid-March, it says. So who knows if he's even going to come back this season. It seems like they're pretty optimistic, but who knows. Baylor is seemingly, they're on a roll right now. I have to take them at home. I feel like that home crowd is going to be going wild. So me and Bear, we're going separate again on this one.
You know, I think you're on the right side. I really want to take Baylor, but looking at the stats, I just can't. I think Kansas off a loss with Bill Self. He's a great coach. So we'll split there. I might eat that one later, but let's move on. This is an easy game for me as well. Arkansas going up against Kentucky. Kentucky is laying 13.5 points. I'm going to have you start, though.
Yeah, this seems pretty easy to me. There's one team that can pour on the points, and there's one team that allows team to pour on the points, and that is Kentucky can pour on the points, and Arkansas's defense is abysmal. Give me Kentucky here. I'm going to take them at minus 13.5 in this game. I feel like they're going to easily be able to cover this spread. These teams, they've already played once this year, and it was in Arkansas. Kentucky, they won that game only by 6 points, but at Rupp Arena, they are a extremely different team. So I expect them to pour on the points here in this game. And whenever we look at how Arkansas has played here recently, they are coming off a loss to Vanderbilt, and they allowed Vanderbilt to score 85. So I think Kentucky might hit triple digits. So give me Kentucky here big in this game, minus 13.5.
Yep, Arkansas is broken. Kentucky laying the 13. Here's the play. You said that last game for Arkansas, Kentucky got held to 63 points. That's not going to happen this game. I think they also score 100 points in this game. They're coming off 117 against Alabama, 91 against Mississippi State. They proved themselves to be a good team in that last game against Mississippi State. I'm laying the 13 with Kentucky. We will sweep the board on that one. Let's go over to the Pac-12 now. Oregon going up against Arizona. Arizona's minus 14. The over-under of this game is going to be 157.5. I'm going to start, and I'm going to take Oregon plus 14. Oregon just got done playing Oregon State. It was a look-ahead spot for them. They did not cover the spread against Oregon State. Oregon State almost beat them, actually, on the road. I think Oregon had this game circled. I think they're going to have their best performance of the season. I'm going to take Oregon with the points. What do you like?
For me, it doesn't really matter if it's circled or not. Give me Arizona here, minus 13.5. These two teams, they've already played once this year in Oregon and Arizona. They walked out of that game with a 9-point win. I have to expect them to win this game by double digits. Adding an extra bucket, I'm not nervous about it. I think Arizona, they're going to dominate this game. Their defense is kind of fallen behind what we've expected them to be over the last few seasons, but their offense has still been elite. And they're 22-6. And whenever we look at their KenPom, they're ranked as one of the unluckiest teams in college basketball. So that makes me think that this team is a lot better than even what their 22-6 record says that they are. So I expect them to roll here in this game. They got a Pac-12 to wrap up here. So give me Arizona big.
All right, we're splitting again. We split a lot lately, I feel like. 3 of the first 5 games we've been split on. Let's go to another great game in the Big East. Marquette going to Creighton. Creighton great at home. Creighton minus 4.5 in this game. Over under 151.5. I'll have you start.
Yeah, this might be the best game of the day. I'm excited to watch it, and I'm hoping that both teams show up to play in this game. Both teams can kind of be hit or miss depending on the game. But, I mean, this game being in Creighton is going to be huge. Creighton, they're 13-2 at home. But whenever we look at this Marquette team, they've been able to travel on the road, except for whenever they went up against UConn here recently, and they got blown out on the road. But other than that, they've been pretty good in the Big East on the road. So I'm going to have to go with Marquette here. Give me them plus 4.5 in this game. Yes, Creighton, they do have a lot of good players on their team, but at the end of the day, I feel like Marquette, they have that championship mentality. They almost made it to the Final Four last year, and it seems like they are wanting to make it back there. And Tyler Kolek, he lit up Creighton in their first game this season, so I expect that to happen again.
Okay, I'm about to change your mind then. Tyler Kolek left the game with an oblique injury in the last one. I don't know if he's going to be playing in this game. I actually don't think he's going to be playing in this game.
I mean, this line kind of reflects, I feel like he's playing, but I mean, if you're saying he's not, then I'm going to have to go with Creighton.
I had to look
4.5 with Kolek being out kind of worries me too, because I feel like it should be closer to 6.5, 7.5 then.
I had to look it up because I was unsure. I know he went out in that game against Providence. It was a blowout game. Shouldn't have really been in the second half, but yeah, he did get injured. I'm going to take Creighton just because of that. So if Tyler Kolek's not playing, Creighton's going to roll in this game. You switching?
Yeah, and it makes sense because I was going to take him on the player props, could not find him anywhere, so that kind of makes sense.
Okay. All right, yep. All right, we will sweep with Creighton there. Minus 4.5 at the play. Let's go on to another Big 12 game. Iowa State going on the road to face off against UCF. This is my free play for tomorrow. Just a free preview for everybody that has to watch it on Saturday morning. I'm going to take Iowa State minus 3.5. They're one game out of Houston. They're the only team left in the Big 12 that can give them a run for their money or a share of that title in the Big 12. Houston also has Kansas as the last game on the docket for them, the last game of the Big 12. So Iowa State, they have to win this game. They've got to win at Seton Hall, and then they basically have it all wrapped up for at least a share if Kansas pulls off a win against Houston. So I'm going to take Iowa State here. They cannot drop this game against UCF. They're the far better team. They force a ton of turnovers. I'm taking Iowa State minus 3.5. Trey?
This is tough. I love UCF and their defense. 3.5 points as home dogs. I absolutely love it. And that's where I'm going to go. It's been pretty hard for the Big 12 teams to travel all the way down to Orlando to face off against UCF this season. And it's shown because they're 11-5 at home, and they've held their own in Big 12 play at home. They've really struggled on the road, but it kind of flips because it's hard for UCF to travel to Middle America to play against the Big 12. But I'm going to take the Golden Knights here in this game. I'm taking plus the points. I do expect this game to be very low scoring. It's probably going to be a bucket game either way. So I love UCF here in this game.
All right, we are going to split again for that one. Let's move on here. That was the Iowa State game. We're going to move on to North Carolina, a battle between the North Carolinas. North Carolina State going up against North Carolina. North Carolina at home, minus 12.5, over under 163. I'll have you start here.
Yeah, this game is going to be a battle of the Carolinas, like Bears said. So we have to expect some juice to be brought in this game. And I expect it to be a pretty close game. But whenever we look historically, whenever they play at UNC, UNC just dominates them, wins by double digits every time, at least in the last 5 matchups at North Carolina. So I expect that to happen again. This North Carolina team, they're pretty much the same. I mean, they're pretty much on par with what we've seen from them over the past handful of seasons. They have RJ Davis. They have Armando Bacot. And I feel like that's all they need to really do what they need to do. And we saw what RJ Davis did just a handful of days ago and dropped a 40 bomb or something like that. So I expect him to do that again here in this game. Big rivalry game. So give me North Carolina at home, minus 12.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to take North Carolina State here, plus 12.5. This game over the last 4 has not been within 13 points. The winner has not won by 13 points or more. North Carolina State actually has one of the wins in the last 4. So rivalry game, I think it stays close. North Carolina obviously probably going to win this game, but I don't think they cover the 12.5. So I'm going to take the road team here in the rivalry game as the play. Let's move on to Mississippi State going up against a ranked Auburn, number 11 in the country. Auburn at home, minus 9, over under 146. Have you start?
Yeah, this doesn't really seem right to me. I'm going to take the road team here. I'm going to take them plus 8.5. Give me Mississippi State. Auburn only minus 8.5. Yes, I know that the Bulldogs are a pretty good team, but Auburn, they're an elite team, and minus 8.5 at home. I feel like they should probably be in the double digits. Maybe that's just me being probably propping up Auburn too much, but they've had a very good season. So I'm going to take the line. I'm going to take the cheese with Mississippi State here, plus 8.5. I expect them to keep it pretty close here.
Yeah, man, we just are on the same page tonight. I'm taking Auburn. I'm taking Auburn minus 8.5 in this game. They're coming off that loss to Tennessee. We talked about that. They were basically in that game for the second half. They were winning, and then Tennessee made a run towards the end. Coming off that loss, they're back at home. I think they make a statement. Mississippi State also coming off a loss, which I really wish they would have beat Kentucky in that game. Been a huge letdown spot here, but I'm still going to take Auburn minus 8.5 at home. The jungle's a different place, so I'll take Auburn, and we will again be on the opposite sides. This is a game I think we're going to be on the same side. South Florida going on the road against Charlotte. Charlotte is laying 3.5 points. The over-under is 135.5. The number makes no sense at all. South Florida has won 13 or 14 consecutive games. They have nothing to play for. They have the conference wrapped up. Charlotte's fighting for the NCAA tournament. They're fighting for positioning in the conference tournament. I'm taking Charlotte here minus 3.5. I think this is a lock spot. This line doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Charlotte, they play really good defense. They play great at home. They only have 1 loss in the season. I'm taking Charlotte. What do you like?
Well, you know what, Bear? You're wrong again. Psych. Just kidding. We're on the same side. Give me Charlotte here, minus 3.5. I actually really love this line. I almost made this my free play for you guys, a little preview, but I decided against it because, like Bear said, South Florida, they are coming in this game with some momentum. But Charlotte here, they have everything to play for. And whenever we factor in South Florida's position, I have to assume that they're going to drop this game. Whenever we look historically, even this season, at top 25 mid-major teams that aren't usually in the top 25, as soon as they get in there, they usually drop the first game. That happened in the South Indiana this season. So I expect Charlotte to come in this home game and dominate. So give me them here, minus 3.5.
All right, we are finally on the same side. We're going to be on the same side again here because last week they screwed you and they didn't screw me. Virginia going to Duke. I hate both these teams with a passion. Duke because Filipowski tripped and caused storming to stop happening. Virginia because they can't score. Duke's laying 8.5. Over-under is 126.5. I'm taking Duke minus 8.5 because they can score 50 points and Virginia cannot score 50 points. Virginia's been in the 40s 3 of the last 4 games. Duke is great defensively. They're great offensively. They roll in this game at home. What do you like?
I'm going to take Virginia here in this game, actually. Give me them here plus 8.5. Bear, you know I'm a big Cavaliers fan. I love Virginia. And whenever we look at the last 4 games at Duke, Virginia, they've won straight up twice. And in the other games, they lost by 1 point and they lost by 2 points. And there's nothing really different about this Virginia team. They're all very, lunch pail team, first in, last out, defensive-minded team, can't really shoot. And that's really remained the same over my entire lifetime of Virginia. And Duke, they're kind of had a down year. So if anything, I feel like Virginia, they have a great puncher's chance to even win this game straight up. So give me Virginia here plus 8.5.
All right, we will battle again. You've got Virginia, I've got Duke. Let's move on to UCLA going up against Washington State. I told you last night I am addicted to betting on UCLA. Mick Cronin has something in my head. I don't know what he's done to me. I'm going to let you start because I hope you don't take UCLA.
What? You don't want me to take the Bruins? I feel like they're kind of brewing in the right direction. But whenever we look at historically in this matchup, last 4 games, UCLA has won it. But this is kind of a different UCLA team from what we've seen. And this is a different Washington State team from what we've seen as well. They're 9-1 over their last 10 games, 7-3 straight up. I'm going to go with Washington State here, minus 6.5. I don't love that this number is so high, but we've seen this Washington State team be able to pour on the points and be able to show up defensively. We cannot say the same thing about this UCLA team. They're kind of hit or miss one game or the other. They've come in this game losing 3 in a row when they lost against Bronny James and USC a few days ago. So give me the home team. Give me Washington State here.
Yep, the first step in an addiction is admitting you have one. And I admit I have an addiction to taking UCLA, so I'm taking Washington State here. Coming off a big win against USC, like you said, UCLA, they have not been the same team. They've dropped 3 in a row. I've lost all 3 games that I bet on them. They were rolling. I thought they had a chance to make the tournament. Nope, they've hit a wall here. 3 in a row they've lost. I'm taking Washington State with you, minus 6.5 as the play there. Let's move on to Houston, the leader of the Big 12, going on the road to face off against Oklahoma. This line stinks a little bit too. Plus 6.5 for Oklahoma, over under 128.5. The thing with this game is when I see an over-under at 128.5 and we're getting 3 possessions, I automatically want to take the points. So I'm going to take Oklahoma plus 6.5. If the over-under was a little bit higher, I'd probably be on Houston, but I don't know if there's going to be enough possession for Houston to get by double digits. So I'm taking Oklahoma plus 6.5 at home. What do you like?
I don't hate that play, especially with what you just said about the over-under being set so low. And I mean, I feel like the under has a very good chance of hitting because Houston, they can hold teams to scary low numbers. They literally suffocate you defensively. They force you into very bad shots, and they force you into not very many shots per game either. So Houston, they're going to have to dominate this game to cover this spread, and I feel like they can, but I don't think that they will. Give me Oklahoma here, plus 6.5. I feel like Houston's going to win, but I feel like this is just a couple bucket game either way. So give me the points here with Oklahoma. They need to win this game to keep improving their stock. I think they're in Joe Lunardi's bracketology at the moment, but at the end of the day, they need to keep stringing together those top-tier wins.
Yep, so we're going to sweep that one there. Let's go on to the best game. I mean, this game's going to be an absolute barn burner. Tennessee going to Alabama. Alabama laying 2.5, over under 168.5 is what I have. 169.5 now. I have you start.
Yeah, this number just seems a little weird. I'm not too sure why Alabama's only minus 2.5. Bear. Everyone's playing. Mark Sears is playing most importantly.
Yeah, everybody's playing for Alabama.
And I know Dalton Connect is playing, and Dalton Connect, he probably led up Alabama in his last game against them. But at the end of the day, Alabama, they have a lot of length that they can throw at him, and it's a different world playing at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So I'm going to go with Alabama here. Small points. You cannot turn down those points. I'm personally going to probably put that in a money line parlay. Minus 130 is pretty nice, and I feel like they have a great chance to win this game. They've probably been on the same level as Tennessee all season long, but Tennessee, they don't really have anybody that really scares you outside of Connect. And I feel like Alabama, they can throw so many people at you. So give me the home team here, minus 2.5. This number just seems a little weird. I expect Bear to go Tennessee.
No, I'm going to go. I want to take this game to be a tie. These teams are tied at the top. They're 12-3 each. The winner of this is basically going to win the conference. I don't know the schedule after. They've both got 2 games left. Tennessee's coming off 92 points against Auburn, 86 against Texas A&M. Alabama's coming off 103 against Mississippi State. We're taking the over. This is my lock of the week. The over 168.5 is going to cash in this game. I'm also going to take Alabama on the money line because I love Alabama. They're going to score 100-plus points this game. This is going to be a great game. This is a must-watch game. You guys got to tune in for that one. But the over is going to be the official play for that one. Let's move on. God, that game's going to be so good. Michigan State going on the road here against Purdue. My dog of the week. Michigan State plus 9.5. I'm going to take Michigan State and a little bit on the money line for my dog of the week. But Trey, I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, this is going to be probably an underrated game. The Big Ten, they always deliver us good games, so we have to expect this one to be good. But it seems like Purdue and especially Zach Edey is on a mission this year, especially over the last couple weeks. Edey, he's been averaging 25-plus points per game over the last couple weeks, and we have to expect that to continue now. Is there going to be anyone else to show up around him? I think so. Give me Purdue here. I'm going to take them at -9.5. I'm sorry, Bear, but I feel like they're going to show up here in this game. They're at home, so we have to expect them to dominate. They're 14-0 at home. Michigan State, they're 3-5 on the road. And yes, they did just beat up Michigan and Penn State in their last 2 road games. But before that, they've kind of gotten beaten up on the Big Ten when they have to travel. So give me Purdue here. I'm going to take them to dominate here in this game, -9.5. Double-digit win. I'm not asking for the world.
They're going to lose that game outright. Let's go to
Uh-oh,
the last game.
but I guess it is March, and that's Izzo time.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Exactly. Izzo and March. Let's move on to the last game. This is a member play for myself. I had to pick this game, but I'm not going to be able to break it down. It's a member play on our YouTube side. If you guys want that, go join. It's only $4.99 a month. Easy money over there. 17 cents a day or whatever it was. Trey, I'm going to have you break this game down.
You didn't say the game.
Oh, sorry. Gonzaga against St. Mary's. St. Mary's -2.5. Over under 141.5. Have you go.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun game to watch. If Bear did not pick this as his member game, I was going to pick it. Give me Gonzaga here +2.5. I'm not nervous that they have to travel to St. Mary's. This is going to be a very, very, very good game. I feel like this might be one of the most underrated games on the slate. Best mid-major game for sure. Gonzaga, I watched them a couple games ago, and their offense is so fun to watch. They will run the piss out of you and kind of contradicts everything St. Mary's wants to do. St. Mary's literally grinds you down and forces you into low possessions. And this game's going to be which style is going to show up more. I'm not nervous that it is a road game for Gonzaga. They are proven, and I feel like they're going to show up here. It's March. They know that they need to win this game to keep their March hopes alive. And it's kind of disrespectful that they're kind of on the outside looking in at the moment. But I feel like after this win, it's going to cement them. So give me Gonzaga here +2.5.
All right, that was the last top 25 game. Broke them all down. Let's go to the dog of the week. I picked up a win with Brown last week, +12.5. Got a much-needed win. I've got you on the wins. I don't have you on the points, so you are still top dog. Have you start?
Yeah, I'm going to go with K-State here. My Wildcats, I'm going to take them +5.5. They're traveling on the road to Cincinnati, and it being a road game is a little bit worrisome for me. But at the end of the day, K-State, they are coming off a big home win against BYU, and I feel like they're going to have to show up here in this game. They almost broke my heart by giving up their last home win, but thankfully they pulled through for me. So I feel like they've won 2 games in a row. As of right now, their next 4 out in Joe Lunardi's bracketology. So they need to finish the Big 12 regular season strong and to make some statements in the tournament to kind of make some noise. And they know that. Jeremy Tang had the boys buzzing towards the end of the season last year, took them all the way to the Elite 8. So I expect them to continue that buzz here in March. So give me K-State here +5.5 against a lowly Cincinnati team.
Yep, and I'm taking Michigan State on the road against Purdue. The best coach maybe in the history of the NCAA is Tom Izzo in March. Michigan State's lost back-to-back games. They're going to get this one. They're going to solidify themselves as an NCAA tournament team. And Purdue in March is one of the worst teams I've ever seen. So they always choke towards the end of the season. Michigan State's going to win this game outright. I'm going to take them for a ton of money, probably a couple unit play on the money line for Michigan State. I'm very confident in Michigan State tomorrow. I'm at least going to take them on the spread because they've lost 2 in a row. This team's fighting for an NCAA tournament spot. Right now, they're at the 11 seed, 12 seed. They win this game, they're in the tournament, so they have nothing to worry about. Give me Michigan State here to bounce Purdue on their home floor. Trey, let's go to the locks of the weekend. I think we've hit 4 in a row now for the locks.
Yeah, we've been hot.
4 in a row for the locks. Have you start?
Yeah, but I'm putting our streak on the shoulders of LeBron James. Give me the Lakers here on the money line going up against the Nuggets. I'm not sure if Bear loves it or not, but at the end of the day, it's GOAT James time. We saw him turn it on in the fourth quarter against the Clippers, and he knows that he needs to keep doing that. I don't know if he needs to do it at that level, but he knows that he needs to keep putting the team on his back whenever he needs to. In this game against the Nuggets, he knows that he needs to at home. It's -1 for the Lakers right now, so they're even favorites, and I feel like that's going to help us out here on the money line. They're going to come this game confident. The Nuggets are going to come this game overconfident, and they're going to get punched in the mouth by GOAT James.
Yep, but I'm taking the over 168 between Alabama and Tennessee. Alabama scores 91.7 points per game. Tennessee has been scoring very well. They allowed 84 points to Auburn in their last game. They haven't been great defensively against offensive teams. So I love Alabama and Tennessee over in this spot. Alabama, they're going to score their 90-plus points. Tennessee is also going to score a ton of points in this game because Alabama is one of the worst Power 5 teams on the defensive side of the ball this year. Love the over in this spot. Last time they met, it was 91-71 at Tennessee. Alabama shot very poorly from the field, but look at the numbers. Alabama gave up 91 points in that game to this Tennessee team. Alabama's going to score 90-plus points in this game. Tennessee's going to score 90-plus points in this game. Give me the over 168 as the play. Trey, let's do the wheel spin for the members. We've got a $50 wheel spin for our members. I'll have you pull that up and have you shuffle it up, and you can spin it whenever you're ready. Oh, do you not have it up?
No, I have it up. My computer's
Okay.
just acting slow. I got it all ready for you
Here we go.
guys.
Here we go. Here we go. All right.
All right,
Shuffle and
boys.
spin when ready.
Everyone knows the drill. Shuffle a couple times. Good luck, everybody. The only member in the comments that's been commenting is Rob White, so I'm hoping he wins, even though I will not let this LeBron James slander slide by.
You can let it slide by.
Adventures of Vaughn. Theo Vaughn. Adventures of Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn is the member winner today. $50. We'll put that up on our next member video trade. We want to build a parlay. You want to build a four-legger real quick?
Yes, sir. I've been brain bustering over here, trying to think of something, but you can go first if you got something locked and loaded.
Just like last week, we hit the four-legger last week as well. So just like last week, I'm going to throw my parlay lock in here. Alabama, Tennessee over 168 as the first play.
All right, I love it. All right, and mine is should I throw in my lock, or do you not feel too confident about that Lakers play?
It's up to you. Lakers at home against the Nuggets. I think it was a pick-em last time I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Lakers more than anybody, so it's up to you.
I won't subject our fans to my bias, even though I really believe that it's going to happen. I'm going to throw it Gonzaga plus 2.5 on the parlay lock. I don't know where you're going because you said it's a member. Hopefully it's not contradicting you. But all right.
I can't say. I've got another play. You ready for it? We both agreed on it.
What?
How about Charlotte? Let's just give them on the money line. Charlotte on the money line going up against South Florida. South Florida doesn't care. They've won 14 consecutive games. This line reeks. So I think Charlotte's a good play there.
All right, I love that. And what do you think about LSU on the money line going up against Vandy?
Okay, I don't mind that. LSU's been fighting. LSU's been scoring a ton of points lately too, so I don't hate that at all.
All right, and didn't you bet on Vermont last month? Or
I sure did. They lost outright. Yeah.
All right. Well, this Vermont versus UMass Lowell. It's for first place in their conference. They're tied. It's their last game of the season for both teams. I was thinking about giving it out, but there was no line out whenever I was researching it. So Vermont minus 6.5 or UMass Lowell plus 6.5. Do you have a lean for either of those sides?
Well, I just watched UMass Lowell play a couple nights ago. They're pretty good too. So,
all right. Then I'm gonna throw out UMass Lowell plus 6.5. I bet on them twice so far this season. I've been 1-1 with them. They've looked pretty good, and I feel like they're going to show up here. They know that they need to bring the juice to this game. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I was going to probably take the points regardless, whatever side it came out, since this game is for first place. And Lowell, they're coming to this game with some momentum too. So those are my two picks, and I gave out LSU on the money line and UMass Lowell plus 6.5.
And I've got Charlotte on the money line in the over 169.5 now in that Alabama-Tennessee game. Also like the Creighton game as well if you want to throw in the fifth leg. We're going to keep it to 4 legs here. We got plus 862, $10 wins you $886. Pretty good parlay there. Guys, it's going to do it for the night. We appreciate everybody.
No, it's not going to do it. I got it. Rob White, he does not need to retire. This slander, I'm not going to let it slide. How is he getting too old? Why does he need to retire? We just saw the guy outscore the Clippers, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell. All those guys, Russell Westbrook, he outscored that entire team by himself. The guy is goated, and I just can't do it. Yeah, he's trolling me. He knows what he's doing.
Trey, let me ask you a question, though. Be real here. Wouldn't you rather LeBron James retire knowing what he is now and not have him have the 2 or 3 years of being terrible?
I don't think LeBron has the capabilities of being terrible. He's going to always be too good of a passer. He's always going to be a floor general. I don't think any... Okay, he did it.
Yeah, here we go. These are the real people.
Guys,
these are the real people in the chat. Right. That person knows exactly what he's talking about, Trey. That person knows exactly what he's talking about. I will say I'm very happy LeBron James did it one time because he cashed me some money. But yeah, anything else you want to say about the Lakers? Anybody in the chat as well?
LeBron, go James. I will say this. My coworkers know I love LeBron James. One of my managers came up to me today. He said, "Hey, Trey, just wanted to get your opinion on the Lakers and their fourth quarter comeback." And I went on a couple-minute tangent about how happy I am. So, yes, I am a Lakers fan. Yes, I am a GOAT James, King James, LeBron James, Bronny James fan. He's going to make it an NBA first-round pick. You guys better watch out.
All right, we're going to end this before you say something else. Guys, thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you catch our videos tomorrow, NBA and NCAA basketball. They come out Saturday morning, 6:30 a.m., 7 o'clock a.m. Make sure you guys check those out. Again, thank you guys for being here. Everybody have a good weekend, all right? Peace out.